Hello everyone, my name is Latanya, Miss Robinson as students know me. If you are new to my channel, I currently teach 8th grade social studies, history and language arts in Southern California. I taught elementary school for years prior, and I just completed my first day of school in my 4th year of middle school. This is my 18th year of teaching overall, but this is my 4th year teaching middle school. And so today I wanted to do a few things with this video. I'm gonna give you an updated classroom tour video, very informal. I probably won't go in as much detail as I have in classroom tour videos of the past, but I'm sharing a new tour with you guys because my classroom has had what I've been calling a bit of a classroom glow up. So I'm going to show you that and kind of talk through some organizational changes that I've made that I think I'm gonna like. I've only had one day with it, but so far so good. And I'm just gonna tell you what I did for the first day of school and try and share as much of that as possible. I think I got some footage of some of it, but I'm not 100% sure. But really the focus is just kind of showing you the glow up in the classroom and some new organizational pieces that I hope to share. So before I show you this glow up, my classroom, first and foremost, a few disclaimers. What I'm gonna show you is not necessarily for everybody. So there are gonna be some people that see this and think that the amount of time, energy, and actually money that I've chosen to invest in my classroom is ridiculous, and you are definitely entitled to that opinion. I'm only doing what I want to do. So I am comfortable with the amount of time, energy, and money that I choose to invest in my classroom because it works for me. I spend a lot of time in this classroom. It's important that I feel comfortable in it, and it's also important that my students feel comfortable in it, and I feel confident in saying that if nothing else, when they walk in here, they do feel comfortable and it's a welcoming environment that I've created. So if you see this and it's too much for you or it's overwhelming, I get it, it's not for everybody. But if you're into just classroom decor or taking a peek into someone else's class, this is definitely for you. So as I said, this is my 4th year teaching middle school. The overall theme or look of this classroom is exactly the same as my last elementary school classroom that I did a tour on years ago. But there's been this one section in this classroom that I have just really, I mean, hate is a strong word, but it's not necessarily untrue. It was just the space that I didn't really know what to do with it. It was a lot of wall space top to bottom, and it was also very wide, and I couldn't figure out how to make it feel right to me. In 8th grade language arts and social studies, it's not like elementary school where there's like a ton of like cutesy projects to put on the wall. So that wall really wouldn't have worked for that because it's a really large wall. So it was just kind of like this dead space that I would look at every day and just be like, I can't stand it. My first year, it was the worst. It was the worst. My second year, I think I like left it alone because that was another year of online teaching. So the bulk of that school year I was teaching from home. And then last year I updated it a little bit and it got a little bit better, but I still didn't love it. But this year, when we got everything in place, and by we I mean my family, once everything was put where it was, I was like, that's it, like this is what I need. So I'm gonna try to intersperse clips of what this area used to look like, either here or somewhere in the video. And if I can't find clips, or if I'm too lazy to kind of like pull clips from old videos, I will definitely give you links to the classroom tour videos that I've done, because I think I did a tour of some sort for both versions of this area that I couldn't stand. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the part that's the glow up, and then I'll show you the organizational things that I changed this year. So here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna take my hand down and you're gonna see the area that has been just giving me the hardest of time and has been the bane of my existence, but now I love it. So here it is. There we go. So here is the section that I hated with a passion. So it was from where this plant is all the way to that read sign. That was really the space that I didn't know exactly what to do, and it just felt very dead. I had tried putting student work there. It looked okay, but it still wasn't quite right. I had some different pictures up there last year, but they weren't quite to scale for the wall. And then this summer, I saw this unit from Ikea, and I saw it and I was like, I think that's what I need. Okay, so the furniture piece that you're seeing here is from Ikea. It's actually 3 different pieces, and I think the whole thing, you know, it's Scandinavian, so I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Phone's ringing, hold on. It was a scam call. We didn't need to answer it. I think it was called Hauga, H-A-U-G-A, but it's 3 different units. So if you see, like, this is one unit, like this is one shelving unit. This is a middle unit, which is really kind of like a dresser. And then this here is the exact same thing as this side. Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you how much it costs, but I will leave the link so you can kind of take a look at it. And I really use this as a treat to myself. I taught summer school, I made a little extra income, and this is one of the things that I chose to do with that extra income. Until I found out I had to replace my air conditioning unit, but that's a whole nother story. So anyway, let me show you what this is. So what I really like about this, just aesthetically, it was the right size. So what I needed in this area was I needed something that was tall, which this fit the bill. That's the initial reason why I think this might be it. And that was wide, which it is, but that was also functional, like that it was gonna serve a purpose for me in the classroom. So what I like about this is the top half of these 2 shelves is my classroom library. So this is where my books are. I had a different shelving unit here before. I'm going to sell that. So that's what the top shelves are. And then everything else down here, it's just additional storage for me, which is amazing because you can never have too much storage as a teacher. And then as far as what I put on the top here, I just decided to make this my little coffee area. I have had this Keurig in my classroom since last year. I never once made a cup of coffee in it. I couldn't tell you why. I think I was just lazy. But this year I'm committing to it, and so I bought some cute little things to force me to do that. I bought some canisters from Target, so the K-cups will be in here. And I think this is where, what is in here? I don't even remember. Oh, no, I don't remember. I think I have 1 container more than I need, now that I think about it. So the K-cups are gonna go in here, and then the sugar packets are gonna go in here. I'm gonna put the sugar packets wrapped in plastic, in a plastic Ziploc bag just to prevent ants. And I think I bought this bowl here for the sugar packets, but now I don't think I need that. Everything else I had, with the exception of the stand. This is from Target as well. And then these things here I just had. So this plant I've had, that little sign I had, Make Today Amazing, and then this print I had, and I just framed it. So for the life of me, I cannot seem to keep my finger from covering up the mic on the camera, so I'm just going to voice over this portion of the video. So I'm basically showing you these prints here that I purchased from Elementary in the Mitten. She is a teacher on Instagram, as well as a TPT seller, and I think this set comes with like 15 different individuals, and I just selected the top, I think 8 here that I felt like were reflective of the content that we study, or the just general morals of the class that I wanted to promote. So I printed those out in color, and then I just popped them into these frames that I bought from Amazon. They came with the matting already in place, so it literally just was a matter of me printing them out and then putting them in the frames and then hanging them up. Here I am showing you some mugs that I purchased at Joann's Fabrics. They were like $2 each, and I decided to get them so I had mugs to keep in the classroom that I didn't have to transport back and forth. And I think that's pretty much all I was saying there. When this went up and my dad and my brother got this finished and I got the books put in there, I was just so happy. And so when people see it, they're like, oh my gosh, like, wow. And I'm like, is it extra? It might be, but does it make me happy? It does, but it's not just frivolous, meaning that it really does have multiple functions. It's a library, it's storage, it's my little coffee cart. And surprisingly, putting this here opened up a whole lot more space in this area here. Last year I had this table, there's a fly. Last year I had this table here, but for whatever reason, and I couldn't tell you, it was just more cramped. Like I didn't have all this walking space back here. So now I can move from this desk, I can walk back here to get to the pot door if I need to. This is also an area where we would pull small groups, so we have a little bit more space to deal with, or work with, I should say. And this table and chair I had last year, so this is nothing new that I bought, as well as the things that are on the table. Like I've had this hanging file folder system for a while. The containers for the pens have always been something that I've had, and then this was a gift for I think Teacher Appreciation last year. The only thing that I added was this runner just to add some color in this corner. But I just freaking love this and the way that it looks and the way that it makes the classroom feel like a living room instead of a classroom. So yeah, that's glow up section number 1. Glow up section number 2, I mean, it's a glow up, but it really was an organizational thing. So I teach, something's down there that shouldn't be there. I teach middle school, like I said, and they switch classes, so they have to take their backpacks with them. When I taught elementary school, the way that it worked is we would have hooks outside of the classroom, and they would empty their backpacks, put their backpacks on their hook, their empty backpacks on their hook, and they would just have their belongings on their desks that they needed. And so I thought to myself, I really need to replicate that, because I was getting tired of tripping over middle schoolers' backpacks. Plus you run the issue of them having their phones right there with them, and I was just over it. And the way that my school is set up is that in between classes, like when I send my homeroom class out and leadership kids are coming in, some of the homeroom kids are leaving their backpacks at the back of the wall because they're gonna pick them up later. It's hard to explain, but there's always a need to have backpacks along this back wall earlier in the day because there's classes being switched. I did a terrible job explaining that, but hopefully it made enough sense. Long story short, I wanted an organized way to store backpacks for those transitional times in between classes, and also a way to keep backpacks away from desks so that I wasn't tripping and so that kids weren't tempted to go into their backpack and get their phone. So again, Ikea came through, and if you saw my one of my earlier vlogs from this summer, you saw this already, but I just bought these storage cubes from Ikea. I think I have a total of 32 of them, and each student will just be assigned a cubby. Okay, and they are numbered on the inside here. So you can see this is box number 13. And so today was the first day. This was really the test to see how it worked. They did a good job. They put their backpacks in there. There were no issues in that regard. It was able to hold the weight without any issues. And I love it. And I love the fact that it almost looks like these were a part of the classroom to begin with. Like, slightly looks like they might be built-ins, but not. So those are the two areas that I'm referring to as the glow up. This little area here that I love, and my battery's gonna die, and then that little section there. The rest of what I'm gonna show you are just a couple of quick organizational things that I changed. So I'm still seating them in table groups. This year we get to do that. Last year was kind of iffy. I am adding a bin of highlighters because we always need these, but kids don't have them. I added a plant to each table group, but I also added these signs. So each table group has a sign. This is table 5, and then each sign has a quote on it that has something to do with leadership. So this one says, individually we are one drop, together we are an ocean. And then they do say the person that said it. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but each one has a different quote. And so that's one teeny tiny little organizational thing that I changed that I wasn't doing before. Just making sure they have just the basic supplies at their desk, that their table group is numbered. It just makes life easier. And then the next thing I'm gonna show you, hopefully the camera doesn't die, is I used to use these mailboxes for returned student work. I don't deal with a lot of paper anymore, so I was thinking to myself, how can I make use of these? And so now this is just where they're gonna leave their consumable books. It's rare that I have them take their study sync book home to do anything out of it, so they're gonna leave them there, and then this is their new social studies consumable book. So they're just gonna leave it there. Again, these boxes are numbered, and that way you don't have a student saying, oh, I can't do that assignment because I left my study sync book at home, because I'm gonna tell them there's no reason for you to take it home. So that is just like the quick little classroom glow up update organizational piece. As far as my first day is concerned, let's go over here where I can put you guys down. I think it went really well. Taylor, who is my teaching partner, and I stuck with the whole concept of a no backpack day. They had their backpacks, but it really just means we just are doing activities on that first day. We don't talk about rules, the syllabus. procedures or anything like that. We just do activities. The first thing that we did was a cup stacking activity where the kids had to work together to use a rubber band that had string tied around it to stack solo cups on top of each other. That was a great icebreaker. It got kids talking and moving and getting excited. She also did with her class a treatment agreement where we then calmed down and kind of talked about, we need to come up with some agreements on how we're interacting with each other in this class, with each other, with the classmates, with the teacher to student, etc. And then my secondary activity was talking about what makes the perfect teacher. What kind of qualities do they have? What kind of personality do they have? What is it about them that makes you want to learn? And then they also have to think about, what do you think a teacher wants when they talk about the perfect student? And then we shared out and kind of talked about that. And of course, I gave them information about who I am as a teacher, some fun facts and things like that. So by the end of the day, I think both classes, because I teach 2 classes, 2 core classes, and then of course an elective. By the end of the day, I felt like both of my core classes were comfortable enough with each other and me to, to come in tomorrow ready to talk about more concrete things like the syllabus and classroom procedures and things like that. So all in all, I would say I had a very successful first day. I will definitely link the cup stacking activity in the description box because that's something Taylor found and we loved it, the kids loved it, as well as, I don't know if I have access to the treatment agreement that she used. I think she found that somewhere. And I don't really have a resource for Perfect Teacher, Perfect Student. It came from a book that I read, but I will try and share the PDF that I made on Canva. So yeah. My battery's gonna die. I wanna wrap this video up. I just meant for it to be very short and sweet. So here is one more quick look at my classroom as it stands now. I really liked it before, but I really love it now thanks to the addition of these cubbies here, and then especially because of this darling little area that I've created. It just feels so much more spacious over there now, and it just looks better. So that's it for today. This one's short and sweet. If you are a regular subscriber, make sure you have the notification bell on. I don't know if I'm going to be uploading every single week. As you know, I'm trying to cut back on some things because life is very busy right now. So definitely have the notification bell on so you know when I've uploaded a new one. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you're not following me on Instagram or TikTok, follow me there at Smarty Style. And as always, I hope that you are well. And if you are not well, please be well. And I will see you in the next vlog. And if you're a teacher, good luck with your first day if you haven't already had it. And if you have had it, I hope you had a great one. Talk to you guys soon.